Danger Dolan. From employees hired to steal dead bodies to people hired to farm digital currency for almost no income themselves, we count 15 of some of the most horrible occupations ever seen throughout history. Number 15. The Vomit Collector, a slave to the Roman Empire who was forced to hang around dining room tables waiting for vomit to hit the floor so he can crawl around on all fours and clean it up. It was actually a common occupation since the emperor and his guests would voluntarily vomit to make room for more food. In fact, Julius Caesar avoided an assassination attempt by feigning interest in visiting the toilet only to return to his room to blow chunks, which of course would need to be cleaned up by a certain slave. Number 14. Fuller, a job in which sheep are sheared, their wool carded, spun and then woven, basically cleanse and thicken woolen cloth. See, this wasn't so bad, except they needed alkaline to cleanse the wool and it was expensive, so they turned to stale urine instead. Gallons of urine taken from farms and private houses, only for the poor wool cleaner to need to trod through urine for 7 hours a day, up to their knees in stale human urine. Not something you would want to print on your resume. Number 13. The Sin Eater. Pretty much a terrible job no matter which way you spin it. The Sin Eater was a 19th century outcast that nobody cared about. Essentially, a homeless person paid to absorb the sins of other people. They did this by waiting for a person to die, then food is passed over the corpse, and then the Sin Eater has to eat the food and thereby absorb the sins wafting up from the body. In return, they were given scraps of money. The Sin Eaters give up any chance of a decent afterlife, are shunned by society, and usually starving to death anyway. But hey, first world problems. Number 12. The Gold Farmer, a Chinese job started around 2007 in the massively multiplayer online role-playing game World of Warcraft, in which your job is to amass virtual currency called gold. The gold is sold to other places in exchange for real money, but to farm the gold is basically slave labor, working 12-hour shifts for the world's most measly pay, 30 cents per hour. That's $3.60 per day, so you've already paid off your monthly Warcraft subscription in 5 days. What a deal. Number 11. Knocker Up. This one has nothing to do with impregnating people, which is a shame because then the occupation would actually mean something. Instead, the knocker up goes around tapping on your window with some bamboo in order to wake you up in time for work. In fact, he won't stop tapping until you tell him to go away, but only if you give him a little bit of money. So, you're employing someone to bother you, but at least he isn't trying to sell you something. Number 10. Spit Boy, the lowest ranking member of kitchen staff, a teenager hired to stand there and turn a metal spit that roasts meat for hours. And it wasn't as easy as you might think. The meat was packed on so extensively that you could barely turn the thing. The handle made of iron, heat in your face all day long. Just imagine if someone hired you to stand next to a bonfire and lift weights for 8 hours a day. Try and keep your eyeballs from melting into your beard. Number 9. The Leech Collector, a job that continued into the late 19th century to collect leeches so they can latch onto a medical patient and withdraw small amounts of blood for therapeutic reasons. Leech gatherers were forced to wade through dense leech-filled areas and allow them to latch onto their legs and suck, losing tremendous amounts of blood for measly pay. It never occurred to them to maybe just use a net. Number 8. Body Snatcher, a man employed to dig up fresh graves and sell off the bodies, without leaving any trace that the body was now gone so as not to alert the grieving family. The bodies were used in the rapidly advancing 19th century field of medicine, with medical students who desperately needed fresh bodies, but with only executed criminals allowed, they turned to this black market trade. And then we all discovered cremation and the industry took a downward turn. Number 7. Subway Pusher, a Japanese line of employment created purely to manage the peak hour public transport traffic when trains are filled beyond 200% of their maximum capacity. The pusher's job is to cram people in so the doors will actually close, otherwise the train can't leave and you get massive delays. pushers are generally made up of part-time students, trained staff, or desperate bulked up part-time workers who like pushing people around. Number 6. Dog Whipper, a lovely title for a church employee in charge of keeping dogs from interrupting the weekly service. In the 16th through 19th centuries, churchgoers would bring along their pets, but it was the job of the dog whipper, armed with a whip and wooden tongs, to eject animals if they became disruptive. It was a valid occupation with payment records still around in old parish account books from churches all over England. Number 5. Snake Milker. This is a job still around today. To get your venomous snake to squirt its venom into a cup to create an anti-venom used to treat snake bites. In fact, one legendary snake milker called Bill Hast survived over 172 venomous snake bites during the whole of his 100-year career. This is mostly due to the fact he was a snake milker, so anti-venom was abundant and the snake responsible very close by. Number 4. Plague Burier, the Black Death, which swept throughout Europe, leaving piles and piles of bodies rotting in people's houses. If you've watched some Monty Python, you'll know about the old quote, "bring out your dead," but that really is what happened. Someone would go around with a cart collecting bodies to head off and bury them. And the employees selected to do this task were then riddled with disease from the decomposing corpses. So not long after they got sick, they had to be dumped on another cart moved by some other unlucky fool. Number 3. Groom of the Stool, a fancy way to describe someone hired by royalty to stand in the toilet with them and then wipe their grotty ass crack and clean it. But they weren't slaves, oh no. More often than not, you'll find the sons of noblemen or personal assistants to the king very high up on the social standing. To be selected to clean the gunk off a royal anus was quite the honor, and it's a shame we're forced today to do it ourselves like savage cavemen. Number 2. Tosher, a person who used to scavenge in the sewers of London, stripping valuable copper from the hulls of ships and stealing tradable treasures flushed down sewers. This occupation may just smell like garbage 24/7, and so you might imagine they weren't very popular whenever encountered in society. Number 1. A French beggar. This is barely an occupation, more of a desperate act for homeless people to get by day to day. It was pre-revolution France and beggar competition was intense, so someone came up with the idea to invoke as much sympathy from donators as possible, the worst of which involves something called denasate, in which the mouth is cut open ear to ear in a joker's grin, gums and nose removed, a disfigured face pleading with you for coins. It puts things into perspective next time you complain about your 9-to-5 job. That's it for this countdown. Be sure to like the Facebook page and follow me on Twitter if you want to be informed about new videos as they go up. And have a good one!